Hey guys, welcome to another day of Bible reading. Today we are in First Samuel verse 21, chapter 21, verse 1 until 15. I don't know why I keep confusing verses and chapters, but chapter 21, verse 1 until 15. That's where we are today. And we are going to read about David and the holy bread. And the second part is David fleeing to Gath. So if you remember in our last reading, we read about Saul trying to kill David, and then Jonathan and David coming up with a plan of how to, find out if if Saul actually wants to kill Saul. If Saul actually wants to kill David, and if he does, what can we do? What can we, how can we, how can I inform you of my findings? And then they came up with a way that, Jonathan would just go, bow and arrow, whatever it's called, with his servant, and then when he tells his servant the arrow is beyond you, then it means that he must run. But if it is beside you, then Saul is not trying to kill him, then he is safe. So that worked, and then now David managed to get away. The servant didn't know that that was the plan, so the servant was just doing what he was told, so he didn't know anything. David and the holy bread. There we go. Then David came to Nob, to Ahimelech the priest, and Ahimelech came to meet David trembling and said to him, "Why are you here alone and no one with you?" So if you remember, I don't know if Ahimelech knows that David is anointed king, or he's just asking, why are you here alone? Because David works for the king, and as someone who works for the king, you were always accompanied. You were always accompanied by other servants or whatever, so you were never walking alone. So which is understandable why Ahimelech is like, why are you here alone? What's going on? And he's even trembling like, this is scary. You're not supposed to be walking willy-nilly, freely alone. Why are you alone and no one with you? And David said to Ahimelech the priest, the king has charged me with a matter and said to me, let no one know anything of the matter about which I sent you and with which I have charged you. So this is David basically lying to Ahimelech, because if you remember, Saul wants to kill David. So there is no way that 1 minute Saul would want to kill David, and then the next minute he would send David on a mission, a secret mission that only Saul knows. So if you understand that, it means, okay, then David is lying. David is lying. Why are you lying, David? So Ahimelech doesn't know, and obviously he's just thinking, okay, then the king sent you on a mission and no one must know about it. And I have made an appointment with a young man for such and such a place. So David is saying, the king sent me on a secret mission and I'm on that mission. I have made an appointment with the person that I'm supposed to see at the place that I'm supposed to go see him. So he's not naming names or places. So he's just speaking vaguely, saying, I'm going here to see someone, and it's a secret mission. So it's kind of sounding like how, in people say, if I tell you, I'll have to kill you. So now, it's like, okay, for me to save your life, I won't tell you. So Ahimelech now obviously has to believe it. I haven't made an appointment with the young man for such and such place. And now then, what do you have on hand? So David is asking Ahimelech, what do you have on hand? What do you have in your hands? So obviously it means that Ahimelech had something in his hands that David could see. Okay, you have something. What do you have that I can use? What do you have that I can use? Because now give me 5 loaves of bread or whatever is in there, whatever is here. So what do you have? Before you even answer, give me 5 loaves of bread and whatever you have in there. And the priest answered David, I have no common bread on hand, but there is holy bread. If the young So David says, Ahimelech tells David, I don't have normal bread. I only have the bread, the holy bread, the bread that I got from the presence of God. So, but if the young men have kept themselves from women, but if you have not had sexual intercourse with a woman, there's Ahimelech saying this to David, like, I have holy bread, the bread from the presence of God. But if you have not had a sexual intercourse with a woman, and David answered the priest, truly women have been kept from us as always when I go on an expedition. So yes, now David is saying, when we go on expeditions, we are told not, or we are kept from the presence of women. So then there's no chance of me actually doing anything like that, because they are kept from us, they are separated from us. The vessels of young men are holy even when it is an ordinary journey. So even when we are sent on an ordinary journey, we are also encouraged or told or separated from women. So but then now imagine on this extraordinary mission. So I'm super, like, yeah, we are super, it is super important for us to be, to be holy. But as you know, like on normal mission, yes, we are told not to do anything. And now on this super secret one, so obviously it's obvious we're not going to do anything. How much more today will their vessels be holy? So yeah, the vessels of the young men are holy even when it is an ordinary journey. How much more today will the vessel be holy? So as I was saying, a normal journey, yes, we are supposed to keep things holy. But how much more holy are we supposed to keep them now on this super secretive important mission? So the priest gave him the holy bread, for there was no bread there but the bread of the presence. So the priest gave him the holy bread, because that's the only bread he had, which is removed before the Lord to be replaced by the hot bread, to be replaced by hot bread on the bread it is taken away. So basically every day they have to replace the bread of the presence of God. In every morning they go with fresh bread and take the bread from yesterday, so replacing it. So Ahimelech had the bread from yesterday, and then he had it on hand, and David saw that. So it's not before he goes into the presence of God. It's after he has taken the day-old bread. Now a certain man of the servants of Saul was there that day, detained before the Lord. So a servant of Saul was there that day in the presence of the Lord, detained, and his name was Doeg, the Edomite, the chief of Saul's herdsmen. So Doeg was an Edomite. He was he was the chief of Saul's herdsmen. So he was the chief of the people that took care of Saul's herds, farm animals, whatever. Then David said to Ahimelech, then have you not here a spear or a sword at hand? For I have brought neither my sword nor my weapon with me, because the king's business was required haste. So now David is asking Ahimelech, do you have a sword or a spear or some kind of weapon that I could use? Because I don't have any on me, and the king sent me on this mission in a haste, so I didn't have a chance to get anything, so to protect myself or to for this journey. And the priest said, no, the sword of Goliath, the Philistine whom you strike in the valley of Elah, behold, it is here wrapped in the cloth behind the ephod. So the priest is saying, oh yeah, no, we don't have anything. We don't have anything. The only thing we have is the sword of Goliath, the one that you killed, the Philistine that you killed. It is here, it is wrapped behind the ephod. It is wrapped with the cloth behind the ephod. If you will take it, that is it, for there is none that but here. So if you don't mind taking the sword of Goliath, then you can take it, because that is the only thing we have. And David said, there is none like that. Give it to me. Like, okay, that's good. The best. That's great. Then give it to me. So yeah, so far we are verse 9. We just finished reading verse 9, and basically now David has to lie to everyone to sort of like protect himself from Saul's madness, from Saul's craziness. Because remember, Saul wants to kill him. And now if he tells these people, okay, I'm running away from the king who's trying to kill me, no one will help him, because no one wants to be charged with treason. So everyone will be like, I mean, I'm sorry, I understand, but I can't help you. So now he has to lie and tell everyone, oh, I'm going on a mission. The king sent me on a secret mission, so I'm going on a secret mission. So I can't tell you where or what it is about, but like, yeah, you can give me food and weapons for protection, because I left in such a hurry. I didn't even get a chance to take food, change of clothes, or even some form of protection. So whatever you have will be good. And obviously everyone believes him. It sounds believable. I mean, who would doubt David, thinking that he works for the king? And yeah, you have seen the relationship they have, and obviously you wouldn't jump to conclusion that David is lying. So now Ahimelech believes David. But remember, they also said that in chapter 7, now a certain man of the seven of Saul was there that day, detained before the Lord. His name was Dog, the Edomite. So now they're saying Saul's servant was also there. So meaning that he noticed everything and he probably heard everything. So he's probably going to report it back to Saul. Snitches. David flees to Gath. And David rose and fled that day from Saul and went to Achish, the king of Gath. So that morning, remember, if you remember, David was in Nod. He came to see Ahimelech the priest, and then Ahimelech is in Nod. So David is leaving Nod in the morning, and then he flees to Achish. Achish is the king of Gath. So yeah, it means that he did not tell everyone like, okay guys, I'm leaving now, I'm leaving. He just left, and then maybe when they wake up they just won't find him there. So the servants of Achish said to him, is this not David the king of the land? Did they not sing to one another about him in dances? So when the servants of Achish see David, they're like, isn't this David, the king of the land? I mean, the one that they sing about, saying Saul has struck down his thousands and David his 10,000. Isn't this David, the king of the land? Why is he here? What's going on? Sus. So the servants are like, suspicious. So don't be suspicious. And David took those words to heart and was much afraid of Achish, the king of Gath. So when David realized that, oh snap, these people recognize me, these people know me, so which means that I can't move conspicuously within them and just, blend in. I will stand out. And then now he was afraid. So he changed his behavior before them and pretended to be insane in their hands and made marks on the doors of the gates and let his spittle run down his beard. So after realizing that, okay, if I continue to act as I am, the true man that I am, my true self, my true identity, I will get exposed, caught, and it will bring attention to my presence, and Saul would eventually know. So now he's changed his behavior. Like, undercover David. Now he's like, okay, I will pretend to be insane in their hands. So now they're holding him, taking him to King Achish. So now he's suddenly starts pretending to be insane in their hands and letting spittle run down his throat, just letting Drew run down his beard. And then Achish said to his servants, so they get to Achish, the king of Gath, behold, you see the man is mad. Why then have you brought him to me? So Achish sees everything. Is like, as you can see, this man is crazy. This is a madman. Why did you bring him to me? Do I like Do I like madmen, that you have brought this fellow to behave as a madman in my presence? Shall this fellow come into my house? So now I guess David's uh what is that? David's okay, David's mask is not the word I was looking for. So but David's mask kind of worked. So because now Achish is like, why did you bring this madman to me? Don't I have enough madmen in my kingdom? Why did you bring this man to me? Do you want him to come? Do you want shall this fellow come into my house? Do you want this madman to come into my house? I mean, use common sense. Why did you bring this man to me? So yeah, I had David's cover. David's cover worked perfectly, so much that the king of Gath was like, this madman, why did you bring him here? I don't want crazy people to come into my house. Why did you bring him? So now David is saved to live another day. So the sad thing is that David is anointed king of Israel already, but now he has to pretend to be a madman just to save his life, just because someone could not understand the responsibility that he was given. Remember, Saul was anointed king. He had all of these things in his grasp, but he was like, nah, I'm going to fumble the kingdom. I'm going to fumble it. And now like, he wants to kill David. And David is not even a king, but he's not even actively the king yet. But Saul can see, Asia, this man has God's hand on his life already. So Saul is jealous of that. Saul is already jealous of that. But yeah, I guess it is what it is. So yeah, it said that David is running to save his life and pretending to be a madman just so Saul would not kill him. Yeah, and that's it for today, ladies and gentlemen. If you have any questions, remember you can DM me or comment in the video. So if you have any ideas or suggestions, or you want to add any comments, always listening and ready to listen. Welcoming any comment, constructive. Thank you guys. Bye bye. See you next time.